My name is Mr Bernard Asadu. I'm a boy coach and men engagement specialist. I'm also a boy child educator, and I run the Building Boys Academy and the Boys Leadership Club here in Enugu, Nigeria. Children spend a lot of time. When we are growing up, school for us was about an average of maximum 7 hours, 6-7 hours. You go to school by 7:30, you come back around 12:1. But today, because of a lot of things, urbanization, traffic from one part of town to the other, and a lot of other parents are more busy because of the economy and all of that. Mothers are now, working. Taking more responsibilities at work. Children now spend more time in school. They, from normal academic activities, they go into extracurricular activities, or they go into extramural classes. Just to and so it kind of stretches the time they spend at school. And so the implication is that they have more influence from school. When you see a child who becomes a gangster or a cultist, like we described in this part, is mostly as a result of their influence in school. You see a boy who, sometimes you see boys, I've had boys who their parents call me and say they found them with pornographic material. It's as a result of what they got from school. Most children learn a lot of vices from school, and that's as a result of the length of time they spend. So if you flip it to the other side, they also spend a lot of time with teachers. So now, in answering your question, I personally believe that the time they spend in school has a role to play. So the school has a role to play. Now the question is, are all our schools ready to pick up that role of supporting the family? Because schools, the fundamental role of schools is not necessarily to transfer values. The family has that fundamental role, but the schools are there to support the family. They play a kind of supplementary role in ensuring that there's a balance, in the child's socialization process. So the question now is, are the teachers equipped to train, whether it doesn't matter what you teach, because you can be a physics teacher and yet your students love you. And then you have teenagers who come to you with questions that are outside of physics. So do you say, because I'm a physics teacher, I just focus on my physics? So whether you teach physics or you teach government or civic education, it doesn't matter what you teach. Are you friends with that child? Are you able to use your role as a teacher, as a coach, as a mentor, to shape that child's values? I give an example. In the United Kingdom last year, research was done, and 1 in 2 men in the UK admitted that the most positive models in their lives were their teachers. Role models were their teachers. That's about, so imagine all the men in the UK, half of that population is saying that the most positive role models they had were their teachers. So that rings a bell and tells you that the school has a fundamental role to play in ensuring that we have positive young people coming out of our school system. So the school leadership should ensure that there are systems in place, whether guidance counselors, advisors, child psychologists, even career specialists, who would provide coaching for the young ones, who would sit down with them and listen to them. You can even organize forums in your school where there's a no holds barred conversation, and this is about shutting out every kind of problem, anything that made them feel judged. Let the students say. So I also teach, and in the boys' school where I teach, the kind of things I hear from boys, their parents will never hear it. Why? Because I use my influence to create forums. Sometimes I come to teach in a class, and even if what I'm teaching is not related to the topic, I'm like, look, guys, let's take away this classroom setting. Let's just talk. Guys, talk. And you see the boys telling you things. As a matter of fact, last week, I had to get involved, in 2 boys. They're about to write external exams, but they're distracted because 2 of them, funny enough, have fallen in love with girls of their age in another school. So, my role is not to judge them. because I don't know how they make them, how they, but my role is to make them on focus. Now look, you have exams that if you do well, we will find you, getting admission into the university, once. Would you like to stay at home, probably become your parents' driver for 1 year, 2 years, or would you want to continue with your mates? So why don't you try to make your relationship platonic? So I suggestively, and one of them already has bought into the idea. I'm still working on the other one. So you see that the school has a fundamental role. So if teachers, people that work in education, even curriculum planners should consider body safety, because what it will do is that you are solving not just a problem for the family, you are even solving a problem for the school. Because if your school has a bad name as a result of sexually polluted teenagers, I mean, you are facing your school being shut down, you are facing your school being blacklisted, and if you're a private school, you are facing your business being shut down. So it's not better that all of us put our hands together and see how we can support our teachers who are the engine room of the educational system to prepare our children to be sexually responsible. So that's my take on that. We don't have many schools. You see, here in Nigeria, and let me also say in Africa, we have very good frameworks, to be honest, some of the best in the world. But the problem is that we don't have proper implementation, and that is because of a lot of problems. Teachers, or those in the educational system are not properly remunerated. There's no motivation. People just go to work, let me just teach and go, so it kills their passion for teenage development. So very simple, there are not many schools that have that kind of system. You can say that they are individuals, they are teachers who are just passionate, so like myself, and I say this with any sense of modesty, who are really passionate about these young people because they want to see them become successful human beings. Okay, so there's also the issue of school leadership prioritizing body safety, making it a policy in the school, even child protection. So there are many schools, most public schools in this part of the world don't have child protection policies. I've been certified in child protection and safety, and I've seen what knowledge of child protection laws can do for someone that works in education and youth development. So if we can, if governments can make it, make it a standard for a school to be registered or for a school to be regulated, make it a standard where you must have a body safety policy. Your teachers must be trained on body safety. It doesn't matter the level of that teacher. Not just teachers, even everybody that works in the educational system, even if you're a support staff, but you interact with young people and you have some level of influence, you should have some idea of body safety so that you find yourself supporting the outcome, an expected positive outcome for raising responsible young people. We have social media. You don't even need your school. We've seen what social media has caused a revolution in almost every aspect of human life. So if you're a teacher, you're an educator, you're a counselor, and you have spoken to your school authorities and they haven't really seen the reason for it, they probably financial implication, whatever, go on social media, try to study as much as you can about body safety. Look out for people like Dr. Chimdi, who is doing a wonderful job in Speak Out Africa organization. There are free resources online, and then you can start start writing about it. Reach out to as many young people as you can in your community, in your church, faith-based organization, as long as you have. And the thing is, it's not even about reaching thousands of people. If you have just 5 young people under your influence, for goodness sake, reach out to them. While we're waiting for people in influential positions to set, but it can take time, it can take generations even. Use social media and reach out to as many people as you can. And then for every young person that's under your care, try to ensure that they are aware of their bodies, that they own their bodies, and nobody can tell them how to use it or how to protect it. It's as simple as